Alright, so now you've had a bit of a read through the content, I wanted to actually give you some examples and how to set up your contest for success. So you have a little bit of a visual reference point as well as the sort of like to-do list from the content of the blog post. So for this example, we're going to use the Foundr contest that they ran. And one of the most important parts of any contest is the title and the subtitle. So essentially what you want to do here is you want to call out the person who you're trying to attract and then tell them something that's going to incentivize them to enter. So for in this example, Foundr used a great headline to attract e-commerce people, and they're offering a mega bundle. And as in the subtitle, they show all of the major prizes for the mega bundle. So this attracts e-commerce owners or e-commerce potential owners into the contest because they can win all of this stuff. So this stuff has really high value, and it's a really great prize for someone who wants to get into e-commerce. The next section of your contest that you need to make note of is definitely have some scarcity, nice CTA buttons. Take a little bit of effort in designing your contest as well, because this is very important when you go to attract someone. They want a professional looking contest. And then on the content area of your contest, you really want to make sure that you are outlining what the prizes are and how to win them, so that you're, one, providing a ton of value to the people who are entering, and two, making it extremely clear to understand. So here you can see that it's free to enter, so they're already like, hey, this isn't going to cost you anything. And then they go into the prizes that they can win. So the first place, they've taken a bit of effort to mock up a nice little image there. I highly suggest, if you have the capabilities of doing that, definitely give it a go. Or if you don't, you can create stuff in like Canva or one of those easier editing options. Under here, they're explaining exactly what goes into that prize pack. And then they move into the prize pack, second place prize pack, explaining what's in there again. Third place, explaining what's in there again. And then finally, they have a nice little call to action to enter, closing date. So that's essentially what you want to have on the front page. I'm just going to show you behind the scenes on this so that you can actually see how all this stuff is made. So coming back to the start of the contest, so this all doesn't really take that long, and it's pretty easy to edit. You just put in your titles, as we were saying, make them super catchy. Most editing software for contests and all that sort of stuff is pretty much WYSIWYG editors, which is, you just enter text, video, images, that sort of stuff. Make sure you have a support email listed so that people on your contest have someone to contact if they have any issues about joining up, or if they have any issues about getting disqualified or any of that sort of stuff. Super important that you highlight your terms and conditions. You can find some general base terms and conditions, like for example, we auto-generate some for you. But you can find those base terms and conditions on the internet pretty much, and then you need to just tailor those to your specific niche or industry or company. Again, make sure you're adding a timer and you're using confirmation emails. I'll show you how to craft a really good confirmation email in a little bit, because Foundr did a really good example of how to actually do that. And so we'll go into that in a little bit, but make sure they're enabled to keep the quality super high. It's important to keep your list quality high so that you can actually collect a bunch of leads that are going to convert later on. Here as well, it's super important to track as much as you can. So make sure that you're adding your Facebook pixel, your Google Analytics tag. If you're using Pinterest, whatever it may be, make sure you're adding your tags here. Make sure you add your tags to the front page, which is pretty much that page that I just showed you, and also the thank you page. So you want to add the lead pixel, for example, on Facebook to the thank you page, so you can measure your success from your ads or whatever you may be doing with that lead success. And make sure you're collecting like name, email, and you can connect other stuff like phone number and stuff. Next step is to add all of your, images, logos, all that sort of stuff. One thing I did want to point out here was the thank you page. So this is a thank you page here, and what you really want to do on the thank you page is remind people of how to enter, how to collect your entries, to get them sharing, because the real success of this contest came down to these actions here that we were incentivizing people to do, regular things on the internet. that would generate a ton of engagement, exposure, and help build the contest. So you can see here that they've chosen just a quick closing soon, adding a bit of scarcity. Scarcity is always great with a contest. And then here you can see that they've encouraged people to complete the other actions to, improve their chances of winning. And so the next part is this prize section down here. You want to remind people, even once they've entered the contest, what they can win. And also in this case, there's a little freebie in here that that you can also win. So on the back end, all you're really wanting to do is just create each entry. We highly recommend that you do a first place, second place, third place. You do a random winner, and you do some entry-based milestones. So you can see here that this is 1,000 plus points when you refer 10 friends. And a really great thing that this contest did is they had really engaging emails that they sent. So once someone hits 1,000 entries, for this, they actually receive this email, which is extremely engaging, and it's really cool. They've added a GIF in here, and they've made the copy very aligned with they've made the copy aligned with their brand. So yeah, don't just give the generic thank you email, or don't just give the generic reward email. Make it very on brand and funny if that's kind of your style. Humor always does well, no matter how serious your industry. They've also included, obviously, instructions on how to claim your prize. So make sure you're doing that, and really leverage these things for maximum engagement, and you'll get much better results using those. So you can see here that these two here are open for anyone to win. They don't have to even come first, second, or third. So this opens up the gate for multiple winners, and it doesn't mean that if you're not up in the top 10 that you don't have a chance. You still have a chance to win something. This one, for example, is a Consolation Prize. So let's have a look here. By entering competition, you have already earned free guide. Okay, so you get this guide as soon as you enter the contest. And this is another example where they sent a great email. I'll just quickly jump in here, and we can have a look at the email here. Okay, so here is you've unlocked a prize in our contest. So you can see here that they've got the download link here to get straight in there, but they don't just deliver the download link in this email. They are also adding in a bunch of awesome copy here that is encouraging them to keep sharing, keep engaging, and keep pushing to increase their entries. Again, great use of humor and a GIF in their email. Make sure that you use that, and they've actually also included a support email here. So great customer service as well, and it's very legitimate, transparent, and you're obviously getting the delivery of the free gift, and 2, you're telling them to keep going and keep collecting entries and keep using your contest. And yeah, I highly encourage you to use, engaging images for this sort of stuff. These nice images are, mocked up, so they do look good. If you don't have the capabilities of doing this, just go with something a little bit more simple. You don't have to have a design sort of background or anything. Again, you can go in and use things like Canva or Design Bold if you don't have Photoshop. Okay, so now I really want to get to this section here, because this is the most important part of any contest. So here you really want to engage people and get them doing things in your contest that's going to give you more than just the end result of an email address. So with a contest, you usually collect their name and email, and then that's it. They can refer others, and that grows the contest and the participants. But what you really want to do is incentivize other actions as well. So one person who enters might also then go and download both of your apps. This example here, we use the go and read and comment on a blog post, links off to a blog post on Foundr, and it ended up being one of the most commented posts on there. Another thing is you want to retweet the contest. So if you create a tweet that includes the contest, make sure that you're getting people to retweet that, so that way you're getting sort of added bonus. Obviously, people can also retweet here, but this is a great way to actually select the exact tweet that you want to build some engagement on. Now, this one was extremely important. So this one was to stimulate engagement on a video on Facebook. And so this way they used this video then in their ad campaign, so that they could actually increase their engagement and build some exposure on this video. And you could really leverage the social engagements here. You can see there's been 372 likes, 226 shares, and 20,000 views. So that's a really good ratio. And they can now take this post and obviously start advertising it as well. So that was a great way to build social engagement on a post and then go and use that in a ad campaign. I'll get into showing you how to actually create a quick ad campaign for your contest, and we can go into using this method a little bit more. The other thing is that worked really well on this actual campaign was they connected up their Facebook chatbot. So what happens here is that you actually go in and you start your chatbot, and then you receive, and then within that chatbot, Foundr set up a sequence, and the sequence included a secret code in there, and that's what they used to validate the entry here. So you could actually, ask the entrants which one was the correct answer. And I actually know it was entrepreneur because I've already opted in. But that way you can see how people can actually engage with this sort of stuff, and you can validate it too. So that's super important in the way that you connect that. There's a ton of different options in here. So depending on what your company is or what you're actually focusing on building, whether it's your social channels or your podcast, or you just want question and answer feedback, you want to download apps, if you're in the music industry. So you can really use these contests to leverage multiple things. And I highly suggest that you think about these custom entries, because this is going to be one of the most important parts of your contest. You really want to be able to engage people and get people doing things that would usually take you a really long time to do organically, or obviously cost you a lot of money to do with paid media.